I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. This is Jeopardy. No, it's Revocation Invidious. I thought it was Insidious, but it looks like Invidious
is what it says.
This is for this is the Extreme Underground run by the big homie Helen Dross. Helen Dross, one of the OG homies. Like we said in the thingamajiggy, if you want, this is one of those alliances that we're talking about.
Yep.
So you're gonna want to be part of an alliance. These guys listen. If you didn't know by their name, they listen to extreme metal. Having said that, the time has come. It's about time for me to make a Patreon video. I gotta make one of those pretty soon. If you want, so if you communicate on Patreon, you're talking to Sori. If you get a response in email, you're talking to Vincent. So Sori has what do you call it?
I have a secret email.
She's got a secret email. And she's got
if you buy a song, if you get a song reaction, you could ask for the secret email, because that's where, if you're like have questions about it or whatever, it's like a little secret spot for that level of our patrons. So don't hesitate to ask for it if you want it.
There's a secret to that. Having said that, it is time.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go! Punk vibe. freestyle, bro. Pinky! Oh, it was so good.
That was good. That was...
Bring me the heavy shit. I love heavy music, bro.
Yep.
They
that was
that shit up at the end.
It got... it changed a lot.
Yeah, it did. They hit that little... What is that, a ukulele?
I don't know.
It's a ukulele?
I like it when all the voices sound like masculine like that.
Over and against what? Is there a band that has a male vocalist but a non-masculine
sound?
sound?
I don't think that necessarily, like, the death vocals and stuff, I don't think that they have, like, a... You know when, like, all the guys were, like... It sounded like they were, like, yelling together? You know what I'm talking about? Which part?
Yeah. It sounded more manly than normal is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like you don't know which part I'm talking about.
When they all jumped into it.
Yeah, what were they saying? It was this part. The besieged by that part.
When they said besiege, blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the masculine sound that you were.
Yeah,
you
they
were
do that
for.
in rap a lot of times. Like when there's a rapper that kind of like puts it forward, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm really, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This kind of reminded me of TYT.
Yikes.
Right?
She took it there.
I mean...
She took it there. Okay. All right.
Don't you agree?
Well...
Say it, Vinny. Tell the truth.
I don't know if you could successfully indict TYT on this. Let me see. Bearing the chalice of disinformation, which we unwittingly drink. See,
People are not unwillingly drinking it, though. They are unsubscribing.
See, that's the power of being in the YouTube age.
Yep.
You know, it's like back in the day, our parents, they had no choice. Mm-hmm. Now we can just say, all right, we're shutting you off. Stop lying. Yeah. See, like, for example, the disinformation stuff. I know immediately people can be like, well, they pushed the Russia nonsense. They pushed the Syria gas attack. Mm-hmm. But I look at that as them being victims of disinformation more than them being proactive disinformation distributors. Because if you're a disinformed person, like, for example, I spread a whole bunch of disinformation about the war in Iraq, but it wasn't because I was a bad actor. It was because I believed the apparatus.
Yeah, I guess you could.
You know, so I just looked at TYT as maybe sloppy in their journalism, but I didn't look at them as...
they're lying about that guy that's over there right
Aaron
now.
Mate. Yeah,
and it's something that's obvious. So to me, it's like, well, you're showing your character. So if somebody's always trying to bring forth the truth, and when they make a mistake or there's been some misinformation, whether they were, deceived by it themselves, come out and say it.
Well, disinformation though is a very, very specific term in the community, and it's when the government is purposefully doing that for political ends. They're trying to influence millions of people to go in a certain direction, or trying to influence this country to do X, Y, and Z. That's why you have propaganda and disinformation. So when I look at TYT, I'm like, okay, the issue with Aaron Mate, are they trying to like Dora's saying, oh, they're trying to get us into another war. You know, like TMIT's not trying to get us into another war.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
It's their ego.
Yeah.
This whole thing with Aaron Mate, the only reason they said anything about Aaron Mate supposedly working for the Russians in a Russian blanket, honestly, like, Cenk is one of those guys that shouldn't do much off-the-cuff talking. He's like, the Russian government favors me. It's like, nobody said that, bro. And he, you know, it's like he was like wrapping himself in this imaginary like Russian blanket. You know, like, and he couldn't even get his you know, his hand around his body because, you know what I'm saying? Like
he said it himself.
He's a rather large fellow. So it's like
he breaks the news.
It's you know, that is. You know, Jimmy, and you know, even in the song, like you can include Jimmy in this because Jimmy's absolutely prone to hyperbole, and he talked about the hyperbolic nature of a lot of media, like like the minute so
but hyperbole makes stories more interesting.
Well, yeah, it also ends up killing people, right? I mean, that's, you know, there was an incident that happened in an Iraqi hospital, but we turned that into the Iraqi military is just turning off ventilators for children. Holy shit, that means we need to go in there and kill them. Like, that was happening during Desert Storm. Like, that happened. Like, that was in our media.
Yeah, hyperbole's not good with the news.
Yeah, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we got into the mix in some situation, maybe like the Corn Show or something, we come back and give you guys a show review, maybe there's going to be some hyperbole.
Right.
But holy shit, like, not when we're going to war.
Right. Like, people's lives are on the line.
Like, you can't just go in there and body a whole village of people and then have
just
the president...
to make an interesting story.
Just have the president go, my bad. Oh, you took that literally, my bad.
That's really bad.
But like, we were just talking about this over on Middle America because, you know, you didn't see it, but Jon Stewart is this comedian and Stephen Colbert is this comedian.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. They basically created this whole genre where comedians are doing the news. So, like, before Jimmy Dore and all these other people, like Stewart and Colbert, they created it.
Oh.
Yeah. And so Stewart shows up on Colbert's show.
Is Jimmy better than them?
Well, Jimmy they're more comedian.
Oh, I want to see. Have I seen it?
Yeah, they're more comedian who will once in a while talk about the news. Whereas Jimmy is more... He'll talk about the news and then he'll put in a joke here and there.
Yeah.
Like you could tell, like, oh, he put that in there because he remembered he's Jimmy Dore. It's funny. But like, they really, and some of the stuff they did was just amazing, unbelievably funny and very insightful. It would be like if Dave Chappelle was telling you the news every night, like.
That would be so great.
So they created that kind of a genre, you know. So Jon Stewart shows up, and you know what? I'm actually gonna play it because it's that hilarious, and it really goes to, you know, what we were all, you know, we've all been through. Now, what's funny was, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about Wuhan and all that anyway, and so I played the clip, and CBS. Did a copyright claim.
That's right. Yeah.
How do you feel about the science now?
So because CBS did this copyright claim, it shut down the stream, and of course, everybody on the stream was like, "Aha!" Because Vin told the truth. But you guys have got to see this if you didn't see it because it was hilarious, and it goes right in line with this song. So let's watch a couple clips.
How do you feel about the science now?
So I will say this. I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science.
And you see Colbert's face.
Yeah.
Colbert saying, no, don't say that. You're not supposed to say that. No, don't say that. No, you know why? You know who was saying that before?
Fauci?
No, not Fauci.
Who?
It was the big homie Trump. So Trump.
Yeah, he was.
You can't say anything that agrees with Trump.
Not on his show. Oh, is it not?
And that's kind of.
Hold on one second.
No.
He flees.
The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask those scientists, they're like, how did this? So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, what about this? What about this? Listen to this.
Wait a second.
Now they're trying to stop him.
All right,
They're like,
John.
Steven,
Oh my
stop
God.
him. Stop him.
Oh my God.
Stop him.
There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel mated with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
That could be.
It could be. Or the steam shovel and the cocoa bean. Viable theory.
That could
By
be.
the way, I gave them all tuberculosis.
Yes. That could very well be, and Anthony Fauci and Francis Collins and
should go
NIH
to
said
jail,
like it should
bro.
definitely be investigated.
Hell
Stop
yeah, you
with
should go to
the
hell.
logic and people and things. The
No,
name of the disease.
Wait a second.
Is on the building.
Wait a second. But it could be possible. You could be right. It could be possible that they have the lab in Wuhan to study the novel coronavirus diseases because in Wuhan there are a lot of novel coronavirus diseases because of the bat population there.
I understand.
It's like the saying,
it's
like,
a
wait a
local
second.
specialty, and it's the only place to find bats. You won't find bats
No, but it's
anywhere
like
else.
saying,
oh
why-
wait, Austin, Texas has thousands of them that fly out of a cave every night. Every night at dusk. Is there a coronavirus, an Austin coronavirus? No, it doesn't seem to be an Austin coronavirus. The only coronavirus we have is in Wuhan,
Yes.
where they have a lab called, what's the lab called again, Stephen?
The Wuhan Novel Coronavirus Lab.
I believe that's the case.
And
Now,
how long have you worked for Senator Ron Johnson?
Let me tell you something.
So Ron Johnson is some crazy, wild-eyed conspiracy theorist or whatever.
He's trying to discredit him by saying that.
Well, but this is a perfect example. I don't think TYT is a good example, but YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter are a really good example of this. Because, on the Middle America page, people had been posting for months about the Wuhan Langley theory. And Facebook put the little, this is fake news, put the little thingamajiggy. And then, obviously, I'm an admin on the page. They're like, we've removed, a bunch of posts from your page, and your page is like now deprioritized because you keep posting fake news. And it was the Wuhan lab stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's literally, the first time I heard about it, because it was all the bat stuff. We all heard, it was some Chinese lady that was eating bat soup, and then this is what happened.
Yeah.
You remember my friend who posted, selfish people?
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
Because that lady was eating the bat soup. He was like, selfish people.
You know what I was thinking about just the other day?
Because, hold on, the alternative, okay, so if you we're talking about this on Middle America, like, if you talk about, like, the anti-Asian violence and all that stuff, like, which is better for your average Asian on the street in America? Which narrative is probably safer? Narrative one.
The lab, I think.
A bunch of elites in the Chinese and the American government conspired together to create this novel coronavirus, and it got out of hand or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's these idiots who took our tax dollars, and these horrible Chinese people in the Chinese government who are torturing those poor Muslim people. So somebody asked me, like, why would the Chinese government create it and do it to their own people? Hello, the Chinese government right now they've got like almost 500,000 Muslims who are Chinese nationals, and they're absolutely torturing and brutalizing them. They're doing that to their own people. So, that is like reading in your basic human decency into these oligarchs, and that mechanism is not extant in those individuals, as you can tell. So Facebook, Twitter, all that, they're deleting all these posts. They hit our page. They degraded our page, said it was fake news, yada yada yada. And now, because it's come out that Anthony Fauci, Saint Fauci, who all of us were supposed to just slavishly listen to, it turns out that he was like at the center of it. It's like, yo,
That's
dude,
awful.
you were at the center of it,
That's
and the
awful.
entire time last year, we didn't know any of this information. Then he gets grilled on the floor of the United States Senate, and it comes out that he'd been playing with this stuff, and also that he was involved with some AIDS stuff in the 80s.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The
Yeah.
other day I was talking to the kids, and a discussion about AIDS came up, and they said, where did that even originate from? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not really sure. I know that we were told that somebody had sex with a monkey. Do you remember
in
that?
Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
Some dude copulated.
And then
with
I
it,
said,
yeah.
wait a minute. Now then they were trying to tell us that the woman ate the bat.
Correct.
Why do they keep using these animals to explain these things?
We keep falling for it. Because Colbert has done so many segments mocking people for the lab leak theory.
Yeah.
But then when Fauci actually had to start answering some hard questions, now all of a sudden it's not so funny anymore. So I put that up on Middle America. And of course, I've got this guy that's obsessed with me. His name is Mark P. And he goes, "You're so racist. You're really dangerous what you just put out here, blah, blah, blah." He always goes after me. I'm like, I'm not Jon Stewart. It's not like Scooby-Doo where like I put on a mask and like I have a Jon Stewart man. Like I was not just on the Colbert Show, Mark, I promise you. It's like I was Vin the whole time. Like people just don't want to believe the truth. So it's like, one of the things I said was, look, we know they lied us into Iraq. The CIA, and they had medical experts, and they had all these other experts, and all this shit that they were talking. They went in there, they lied us into Iraq. We killed a whole bunch of people, and we created ISIS, and all. You guys know what happened. And like, the CIA did that. The CIA did that. So then, Trump shows up. And it's like the CIA says, oh, yeah, he was colluding with Russia, blah, blah, blah. And Trump goes, no, that's all bullshit. And people are like, oh, my gosh, he's disagreeing with the intelligence. How could you disagree with the intelligence community? Or this nonsense about Syria, Bashar al-Assad, when it's obvious that the chemical side of the attack was staged, and it was there to propagandize the American citizen into co-signing yet another forever war. That's a fact. That's what happened. And it's like, oh my God, you're contradicting the CIA. Who are you to contradict the CIA? I don't know. Maybe if people would have contradicted the CIA in around 2003, 2004, we'd have about 500,000 friends over there in Iraq that are out there in a souk somewhere right now, or building a masjid or doing something nice for their community. But they can't now because they're dead, because we killed them, because the agency lied us into a war and the media was completely complicit with it. This whole, little shit tossing context between Jimmy Dore and all these people. We said it at the end of the video. I don't care about those two personalities per se. What I care about is the fact that these people try to lie us into a war.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
And this shit is dangerous now. Thank God. And this is one of the reasons why, like, I'm not completely angry about big tech, because it's true. They did try to censor our page, but at the end of the day, they gave us a platform for us to say this shit. And I don't believe that they're going to be able to control the information the way that the people who are giving them commands are want them to. Mm-hmm. So even though they're trying to get a handle on it, it is impossible to get a handle on it. Everybody knew what it was. Everybody knew the theory. So we have a much better shot of getting to the truth now and seeing through bullshit now than we did even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem is that the people in power are so good at making this about personalities and not about policies. And the left has perfected this. They made the whole thing about Trump, so you were constantly saying, yup, he's an asshole, yup, he's a terrible person, but what about the fucking policy?
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
It sucks what happened to those kids at the border with Trump, but what is getting Biden in office going to do to solve that problem, considering he was there when they built the fucking cages and he told that Mexican dude to go vote for Trump when he had the audacity to confront him? None of you wanted to listen because you got duped. You got brainwashed into believing that this was about Trump versus Biden. So they got you in a personality conflict instead of a policy conflict. Biden didn't even feel the need to address specific policy issues. The whole "if you don't vote for me, you ain't black" came on the heels of a specific question. What are you going to do for my people? And Biden said, check the record, which is completely insulting.
Yeah.
Because Biden was a segregationist. He worked at the KKK. He was an avid and avowed racist. He said he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. He authored the crime bill. He bragged about hanging people for jaywalking. He was the one that called us super predators who were beyond. He calling us predators who were beyond the pale, only to be outdone 24 hours later by Hillary Rodham Clinton, who called us super predators. So when you bring up all these topics. And these people look at you and then they say, yeah, but he's not Trump. It's like, okay, you've been completely and totally brave. And you know what's funny? None of these people, it's funny because the internet is forever. So I have screenshots of all these people self-righteously crying about the kids at the border, self-righteously crying about Trump's racism. I've got screenshots of these people messaging me, how could you do this? You're black, you're voting for a racist, blah, 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 blah. No, I never voted for Trump, but I just knew that Biden was a way worse racist than Trump was. All these silly people saying all this type of shit, none of them are saying anything. Biden's son just caught again. He got caught again. He's saying the word nigger.
He did?
Yeah. None of them. All you people. This was a reason. This was a reason why.
I can't even believe that still happens.
This was a reason why I would get so angry at these white liberals.
Yeah.
Who would paternalistically try to tell me.
Yeah.
That I didn't know what was best for my own people and Biden was best for my people, and I'd say Biden's a racist. And that's whataboutism. Now, do I care that Hunter? I don't care that Hunter used the term nigga. I don't care. I don't care about that. It's funny to me. But what's crazy to me is I knew that a lot of you didn't care about the black struggle or didn't care about those kids at the border. I knew you were just using our pain as a political tool. And I know many of you could not understand why I would react to you the way I would. Well, now you
so
see.
Awful.
The kids are still in cages. You're not saying shit. Kamala went over there and told those people, stay home. We're gonna enforce our laws and protect our borders, which is literally the same words that Trump used. As a matter of fact, I don't think Trump went to any of these places. He certainly didn't go to Guatemala and tell those people to their face to stay home. This woman went across land and sea to tell those people to stay home. But she wouldn't go to the border. None of you had anything to say. Not a word. The guy's still using federal prison, private prisons, to enslave these people at the border. None of you said a word. You didn't care. Why? Because your political figure is out of there. Trump. That's what you had a problem with. And you just use those children.
That's awful.
Yeah, you're a horrible person.
Look, if that's you,
that's why
you have to reverse that and start putting those posts out there, regardless of who the person is in power.
And they're not going to do it.
You care about those children?
They don't care. But that's the thing. They don't care. They got propagandized by left-wing corporatists who had their own agenda. And by the way, their agenda is not you. They obviously don't care about you. They selected a guy. They king-made a guy who said during a pandemic that if a Republican-controlled House or Senate, if a Republican-controlled House approved a sort of emergency Medicare for all bill, he said he would veto it.
Yep.
I didn't care about you either. And Trump said, I don't know, we might have to consider that temporarily. Like, literally, these people convince you to vote against your own interests. And they used the media and race to do it. So this is a very, very important song. And, you know, we got to do some soul searching because all of us want to believe that everybody else gets duped, but not us. That's why I said I was putting out all types of propaganda about the war in Iraq because I was completely propagandized. You have got to understand yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to have that self-knowledge. Mm-hmm. Everybody is susceptible to being propagandized by the media, and if you don't think critically, listen, anybody that the media tells you is the total bad guy is not as bad as you think they are, and anybody that the media tells you is a total good guy is not as much of a saint as you think they are.
Right.
So, you know, somebody said, okay, so we can't trust anybody. What we're supposed to do? It's like use your critical thinking skills that God gave you. If Anthony Fauci comes out and lies, he lied about the mask. He admitted it. Mm-hmm. He said, I lied about the mask because I wanted to make sure that the healthcare professionals could have the mask first. It's like, you're one guy. Who in the hell authorized you to do that shit, bro? How do you get to call that play for 328 million other people? So the minute that guy says that and admits that, you're out. I don't want to hear anything else you have to say, and everything else you said previously is in question. And now I am not going to quote you as a source to refute anything. So very, very important song. Very good metal. I'm going to give it a solid 9.
9.4.
There you are, dear listener. Smoke them if you got them.
Oh, boy.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.